Cuz, I'm back on the Splitmind channel. Today I'm going to be breaking down this hard, dark melody that I made in the style of Baby KEEM. I've been listening to a lot of Melodic Blue recently, and I wanted to make something kind of in that style that I could hear him getting on. This also has some Don Toliver vibes. It's just a super hard melody. This is what the melody sounds like. I'm about to break down this melody. Before I start, go follow me on Instagram at NoahCuz and go check out my analog lab banks in the description. I made this originally at 127 BPM, but near the end I stretched it to 136. This is the first sound that I used. I used one shots for pretty much all of these sounds. I'm gonna play it and then break down the MIDI. So really it's just the same chord repeating the entire way through. It's a D minor chord. I have the minor third and the minor second playing on the first two, and then it just goes straight into the minor second. You can also see that these chord chops right here are at a lower velocity. It kind of sounds like a delay. I just kind of wanted to make it sound more chopped up and unique. For the top, I put the root, this D in, and then I alternated that between the root and the minor second. After I had all of that, I did Alt S to strum the notes, and then I did my own strumming by holding Alt and moving around these notes, just to make all the chords sound unique and more human. And then I did Alt R to randomize the velocities at the end. These are the effects I added on this first sound. I have this bandpass and arrow into this effect rack preset. Next I have this Memory Brigade delay from Arturia with this preset.
Sorry, I don't know that.
Fuck, I didn't say her name. Anyway, next I have the sketch cassette, and I just changed some of the settings into this tremolo control, and then I messed with this channel EQ a little bit. I also brought the stereo separation up on it. So for this next sound, I used a mallet kalimba type sound. I copied the same MIDI from before, and then I changed a couple things around. I'll show you. So the only thing I changed is that I added this slide note. If you want to get that dark sound fast in your melodies, you can use fourths, and that's what I did here. This is the fourth in the scale of D minor. So for effects on this, I have a lot. I have this bandpass and arrow preset in Pro Q3 going into Portal, effect rack, this delay, sketch cassette, this micro shift preset, and then this plate reverb. So next I added these bell chords just to complement the other melody. I'm gonna play these chords with the other melody so you can hear what it sounds like. So for the effects on those bells, I have this Portal preset going into this Pro Q3. Next I have this Alter Boy pitching it up a full octave, and then I brought the mix down some, and then a spring reverb. The next sound I added is this really simple bass. I just have it hitting once on the 1, and then on the 3 I have it hitting twice, and then I copy that over for the next 4 bars. This is what the bass sounds like. So for effects on that one, I just have this EQ cutting out the super lows like 16 Hertz, but then I boosted some of the upper lows and the lower mids, and then I cut out like pretty much everything above 600 Hertz. I also made the stereo separation like super mono on that one. Next I have this 8Dio Studio upright piano from Contact, and I'm just playing low octaves of the root notes just to give the melody some body. This is what it sounds like. So for effects on the piano, I have this low cut high pass EQ into a sketch cassette just to give it some texture. And then I also have the stereo separation mono for that one. So this sound I added is crazy. It's basically a synth one shot, but I made it into an ARP. You can see it's just a D minor chord right here, but arpeggiated. And then you can see it's like descending down the scale. With these notes, the longer ones, I manually put these here and then I stretch these out. Just that way more of the one shot sample would play out to make it sound more unique. So this is what it sounds like without effects. But with effects, it sounds crazy. So yeah, I'm not gonna go through all of these plugins in the effect chain, but if you guys want me to drop a mixer preset kit, let me know. I have a bunch of these chains saved that I just throw on parts of my melodies when I need to get a certain vibe going. So yeah, let me know if any of you guys would be interested in that. But you can see I added Portal for like the granular part of it, and then I added a couple EQs, some saturation plugins, and then reverb and delay. It's basically all it is. The next sound I added, kind of for like a B section, was this one shot. I'm gonna play how it sounds originally. So for effects on that one, I had 2 portals, and then I have this sound shifter pitching it down an octave into the shaper box, panning it left and right on a 2-bar loop, and then I cut a lot of the lows out, boosted the mids, and then cut some of the highs on the channel EQ. The only thing I changed in the final loop though is that I actually reversed the sample and then I pitched it up 5 semitones. The last sounds that I actually added were these textures. So you can see I added this texture, I added a pluck, and then I added a reverse bell going back into the 5 and the 1. This is what all of the textures sound like together. So for effects, I have this bandpass narrow preset in Pro Q3 going into this spring reverb, and then I cut some of the lows and highs out with this channel EQ. Alright, so once I had all of those sounds done, I bounced them out into audio clips, and then I made a new arrangement. So here I structured out the loop how I wanted it to sound, and I also made some chops. I wanted to make it sound more sampled in some parts, so you can see I cut the sample right before the 3, and then I selected these, and I held Alt or Option on a Mac, and then I just brought this back a little bit. I did that before the 3, and then before it came back into the 1 or the 9 on this arrangement for each 8 bars. You can see I did that the whole way through with all of the sounds. This is what the chopping sounds like, rather than having all of them end right there. It just kind of adds more bounce to the sample. Now for that reverse kalimba chopping that I was telling you about earlier, this is what it sounds like in the final loop. So yeah, that's hard. So for the structuring, I have the bass playing in the first 16 bars. In the next 16 bars, I took out the bass. In the next 16 bars after that, I took out the low piano. And then in the next 16 bars after that, I took out the arp and then the kalimba. So once I had all of those done, I bounced it out again, and then I pitched the whole thing down 1 semitone. From there, I made sure that the mode was on stretch, and then I brought the BPM up to 136. So after I had this, I just added some master effects, and you can see those here. I added this wow control into this sound shifter, just bringing it back up 1 semitone, into the sketch cassette, just boosting up the mids and the sides some. And then I added this Brainworks EQ. Basically, I boosted the highs, I boosted the mids a little bit, boosted the lower mids, and I even boosted the lows some. I was just shaping the final master sound how I wanted it. I cut out all lows below like 20 hertz right there. I also made everything 138 hertz and below mono, and then I brought up the stereo width of the rest of the sample. Next, I added another EQ, just once again shaping the sound how I wanted it. And then finally, I added this T-Rack soft clipper, just that way it didn't distort. So yeah, that's the whole sample. I hope you learned something in this video. If you can get this video to 500 likes, I'll leave the sample download in the description so you can cook up some beats to it. But yeah, like I said earlier, go follow me on Instagram at NoahCuz. Go check out my analog lab banks in the description, and let me know what you want to see in the next video. Thank you all for watching, and I'm out. Peace.